Hello and welcome back to Architect Anatomy. Have you ever thought that the story of a home actually begins long before you step through the front door? Today, we're dissecting the anatomy of a first impression. We aren't just looking at decoration, we're exploring how gates and pathways work together to welcome guests with elegance and intention. Let's dive into some stunning inspiration. Every great entrance needs a frame, and nature provides the best architecture. Here we see how dense ivy and manicured hedges act as a living border, directing all attention to the central doorway. The symmetry of the low boxwood hedges lining the path creates a sense of order and calm, guiding your steps toward the open arch. This framing technique is versatile. You can achieve it with tall potted plants, trellis vines, or even just well-placed shrubbery. The combination of rigid stone geometry and organic, wilder growth above creates a balanced aesthetic that feels both established and alive. Whether your style is modern minimalist or classic cottage, using greenery to frame your path ensures your entrance feels intentional, private, and deeply connected to the earth. One of the most effective ways to create a sanctuary feel is to let nature take the lead in framing your architecture. In this design, notice how the lush canopy above and the structured hedges on the sides act as a living border, drawing all attention to the central entryway. This technique works beautifully whether you have climbing vines, tall potted trees, or manicured shrubs. The goal is to create a sense of enclosure and privacy without building solid walls. By softening the hard lines of the roof and facade with organic growth, you transform a standard entrance into a welcoming portal. It's about finding that perfect balance where the built environment and the natural world embrace each other, making every arrival feel like stepping into a hidden retreat. A truly inviting sanctuary starts with the right mix of textures. In this design, notice how the rich, warm tones of the wooden gate and roof beams contrast beautifully against the cool, solid gray of the perimeter wall. This combination creates a sense of grounded elegance. Wood brings life and organic warmth, while stone or concrete provides security and modern structure. You don't need to replicate this exact look to achieve the effect. Simply pairing natural materials like timber or bamboo with sleek masonry can transform a cold facade into a welcoming home. It's about finding that sweet spot where rustic charm meets contemporary durability, ensuring your entrance feels both sturdy and soft. A garden sanctuary isn't just about plants, it's about how you frame them. In this design, notice how the dark pergola structure acts as a bold header, drawing the eye downward toward the entrance and creating a sense of depth. This architectural element bridges the gap between the house and the garden, turning a simple doorway into a grand portal. You don't need a massive construction to achieve this effect. Even a simple trellis or arbor can define your entryway and support climbing vines. By combining rigid structural lines with soft, overflowing greenery, you create a balanced aesthetic that feels both established and alive. It's about building a skeleton for your garden to grow around, giving your sanctuary a sense of permanence and intention. The secret to a luxurious garden entrance often lies in the contrast of materials. This design showcases a beautiful interplay between the rough, natural texture of the stacked stone facade and the smooth, warm finish of the wooden door. The stone provides a solid, earthy foundation, while the wood adds a touch of organic softness that invites you in. When planning your own makeover, think about layering textures. Pair brick with timber, concrete with ferns, or stucco with ironwork. These contrasts add visual interest and depth, preventing the design from looking flat. It's these tactile details that make a garden feel rich and inviting, turning a standard entryway into a sensory experience that balances strength with warmth. One of the most magical ways to welcome guests is by creating a natural canopy over your path. In this makeover, mature trees arch overhead to form a living ceiling, framing the gate and drawing the eye inward. This tunnel effect adds a sense of mystery and anticipation, transforming a simple walk to the door into an immersive experience. You don't need ancient oaks to achieve this. Fast-growing vines on a trellis or strategically placed espalier trees can create a similar enclosure. By layering vegetation from the ground up to the sky, you soften the architecture and make the transition from street to home feel like stepping into a different world. It's about using nature to build a room without walls. As daylight fades, your garden entrance takes on a completely new character. This makeover showcases the power of layered lighting to create a serene, almost meditative atmosphere. The warm glow from the lanterns highlights the texture of the stone and casts soft shadows through the gate slats, adding depth and mystery. You don't need an elaborate system to achieve this mood. Strategic placement of wall sconces or path lights can dramatically shift the vibe from functional to magical. Focus on warm color temperatures to mimic candlelight, and aim to illuminate architectural features rather than flooding the area with brightness. It turns your home into a glowing beacon of tranquility at the end of the day. Visual interest often comes from the bold interplay of opposites. Here we see a striking contrast between the crisp, bright white of the stone pillars and the deep, dramatic black of the wrought iron gate. This high-contrast palette makes the entrance pop, ensuring it stands out against the lush green backdrop without feeling heavy. The gold accents add a touch of warmth, preventing the look from becoming too stark. When designing your own entryway, don't be afraid to mix light and dark materials. Pairing pale masonry with dark metal, or vice versa, adds depth and sophistication. It's a timeless technique that ensures your garden gate remains a focal point, regardless of the season or surrounding foliage. Forget the traditional lawn, texture is the new luxury in garden design. Here, we see how replacing grass with crisp white pebbles and structured stone slabs creates a clean, low-maintenance aesthetic that feels incredibly modern. The roughness of the rocks contrasts beautifully with the smooth architectural lines and the soft, organic shapes of the sculpted trees. This approach is perfect for urban homes or anyone seeking a zen vibe without the upkeep of a manicured yard. By mixing hardscape materials, like wood, stone, and gravel, you add tactile interest that makes the ground plane just as important as the vertical elements. The soul of a welcoming entrance often lies in the balance of materials. Here, we see a beautiful interplay between the rugged, cool texture of stacked stone pillars and the smooth, warm tones of the timber ceiling. This combination grounds the architecture while keeping it feeling organic and inviting. The stone provides strength and permanence, while the wood adds softness and connects the structure to the surrounding garden. When planning your own makeover, consider how different textures can complement each other. Pairing masonry with natural wood accents is a timeless way to add depth and character. It prevents the design from feeling too cold or too rustic, striking a perfect middle ground. Sometimes, all a garden entrance needs is a bold splash of color to transform it from ordinary to extraordinary. This design showcases the timeless appeal of a deep forest green gate set against warm, neutral stucco walls. The dark hue adds depth and sophistication, creating a striking focal point that draws the eye immediately. You don't need to stick to traditional black or wood tones. Experimenting with rich colors like navy, charcoal, or emerald can give your home a unique personality. Paired with crisp white blooms and symmetrical topiaries, the contrast feels fresh yet classic. It's a simple change that makes a massive statement, proving that your front gate can be as much a design feature as it is a functional boundary. True luxury is extending your comfort zone beyond the four walls of your home. This design transforms a simple backyard into a fully functional outdoor room, anchored by a sturdy pergola that defines the space without closing it off. The key here is treating the exterior with the same care as the interior, using plush, weather-resistant seating and a central coffee table to create a conversational hub. You don't need a massive structure to achieve this. Even a simple shade sail or retractable awning can define a zone for relaxation. By grounding the area with a solid floor, like pavers or decking, and adding soft textiles, you blur the line between inside and out, creating a sanctuary that feels just as inviting as your main living room. A true garden sanctuary isn't just about the plants. It's about how you cross from the outside world into your private haven. Notice how the open gates and wide pathway create a seamless transition, blurring the boundary between the street and the home. The lighting plays a crucial role here, guiding your steps and highlighting the texture of the stone walls without overwhelming the senses. This concept works for any entryway. By keeping the path clear and using consistent flooring materials from the gate to the door, you create a visual flow that pulls you inward. It transforms the act of arriving home into a decompression ritual, leaving the chaos of the day behind as you step into your peaceful retreat. The soul of a welcoming entrance often lies in the balance of materials. Here, we see a beautiful interplay between the rugged texture of stacked stone walls and the smooth, warm tones of the timber double doors. This combination grounds the architecture while keeping it feeling organic and inviting. The stone provides strength and permanence, while the wood adds softness and connects the structure to the surrounding garden. When planning your own makeover, consider how different textures can complement each other. Pairing masonry with natural wood accents is a timeless way to add depth and character. It prevents the design from feeling too cold or too rustic, striking a perfect middle ground that feels both established and fresh. A successful garden sanctuary isn't just about pretty plants. It's about how the space makes you breathe a little easier when you walk through it. I hope today's inspiration helps you create a more peaceful transition in your own home. Thanks for watching Architect Anatomy. If this video sparked a fresh idea, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Stay creative.